Hello, this is Northy from Epic Flail. Welcome to today's show. We've got some really exciting news that I wanted to record and get out at the weekend, but just time constraints and juggling lots of things meant that I couldn't do it. So I've just recorded a really exciting interview and announcement with my good friend Gill, who we've known for many years for his War Machine days. We've known him from, I don't know, like 9 years ago, whenever the first WTC was. He wanted to share with me some really, really exciting, positive news about Marvel Crisis Protocol. I hope you enjoy the video. Please get this message out across your community. It's a really big deal. It could really help grow the MCP community and put it on the map. It's a great opportunity. So please embrace it, get excited about it, and share it where you can. Also, like and subscribe. We've got more NCP content coming your way. Thanks for all the support that people have shown so far. Hope you're all having a great day, and I'll speak to you again soon. Cheers. Great. Gill, cheers so much for joining us on the show, mate. We've met multiple times at War Machine WTCs over the years, but do you want to just give us a little bit of a background on yourself, a little introduction into your sort of relationship with MCP?
Yes, my name's Gill. I'm from Denmark. I've been playing miniature games for close to 30 years. I started MCP shortly after it came out. I wasn't sure if I wanted to play. Two of the guys I play with all the time picked it up and says, "Oh, let's try this out." And after the first game, I was hooked. And as always happens when I go into a game, I end up buying everything, playing everything. And organizing, because there's always, always lacks of people who's picking up stuff, and there was nobody doing events in my area. So okay, I'll do the eastern part of Denmark, somebody the western part of Denmark, and so
Good stuff. The community needs people like you. You're like a Norbert-esque character that just gets things done and organizes and brings communities together. Not like me. I quite like bringing communities together. I can be a bit passive.
Yeah.
So yeah, you've done a lot over the years for the War Machine crowd.
Yes.
As well, right? And you've got a history of going to WTCs, helping manage and run WTCs.
I have.
I'm
actually
years.
part of the WTC committee right now for Denmark and for the international one. Has been for a few years now.
Good stuff. And just while we've obviously got like a big announcement that we're going to talk about in a second and get excited about that. But before, because I just think it's like an interesting question. And we meant to catch each other at York, but I had to get off and come back down south. But what is it that kind of drew you into Marvel Crisis Protocol? Because, again, I've known you from the War Machine scene, and I appreciate the things that people enjoy about War Machine. Is there similarities there to War Machine that drew you in, or something a bit different? What attracted you to it?
Well, there's two things. I mean, there's a couple of things, but the main thing is I love Marvel. I've always been a big fan of Wolverine and Hulk and Spider-Man. The rules are fantastic. I mean, the fact it's another game with a timeline for the turn, the attack sequence, end of round, start of round. If you don't know it, but I used to play Star Wars Imperial Assault, which has the same thing. Everything is timed out, so you can't miss a step because you just look at the timeline. When do I do rerolls? When do you do rerolls? It's just step 11, 12, 13, 14. So you can't go wrong. Just follow the timing charts, and it's perfect. So clear rules like that is fantastic. I mean, I've got friends start playing this who has no interest in Marvel, but they're interested in a game with, solid, good rules. And that's what's drawn them in.
Yeah. And it seems quite precise, again, like War Machine. I've just started playing it and learning it, but the measurements and the precision of it seems to be replicated.
Yes. And this one is even easier because instead of having a tape measure in Marvel, in War Machine, they went over to sticks. But this is very simple because you have 3 movement sticks and 4 range sticks. Technically, you have 5 because the side of all the range sticks is also a range 1. It just makes it easier and precise.
Yeah, seems good.
Yeah.
One thing we both enjoyed about War Machine was that precision. Good thing to have in again.
6 inches. It's not 6 inches and a fraction.
Yeah, it's bang on. Something I find weird about 40K is people are like, yeah, that seems fine. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like, use a measure.
Yeah.
What are you doing? And then things start moving. You're, oh, no.
Yeah. I've talked to people who moved over, and after they moved over, they looked at some of their friends who still plays, and they just can't get a head around how messy and sloppy the play is.
Yeah, just total chaos.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, no. And the thing is, when I played 40K in fantasy, I didn't. For me, a measurement is a measurement. But you get a lot of these people like, if a couple millimeters out, you're in. No, you're out.
And you're like, no, you're out. Like, what's going on?
It's
I'm doing like a series at the moment talking about 40K, like examining the competitive nature of
Yeah,
40k, and like there's this whole playing with intent thing that I've tried to get my head around that just doesn't exist in other games. It's like I intend for this to be, so far away from that model. It's like, well, it either is or it isn't. I intend for this model to not be visible to that model. It's like, well, I intend to win. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like, do I win?
yeah,
Anyway.
and use the rules for rules.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. So it seems good, but you kind of mentioned this to me at the weekends, and I was exceptionally excited about it. So, and this is what we're going to do on the show. So what is it you've come on to announce? What's going on?
Yes, as I mentioned, I'm part of the War Machine WTC committee, the World Team Championship, which is an event of teams of 5 players playing against other teams of 5 players from different countries. And we got to talking before I went to York with some of the guys in Denmark, because I'm hosting it in Denmark, the War Machine WTC. And they said, wouldn't it be cool if we did MCP WTC? I was like, well, we could do. And I was like, in my head going, okay, we need mats, we need terrain, but we got printers. I can get a couple of more printers. We do this and this. I know some people with a mat. I can do, okay, it sounds doable. Talked around, got a feel from some of the guys in the UK, talked to Norbert and Pat, and got some of the players, and said, that'd be cool. And then I wrote to the rest of the committee and saying, would you mind if we added MCP WTC to the WTC so we increase the numbers? Because it's a big venue at a hotel. We need enough people to make the budget work. And they all were like, thumbs up, let's do it.
Sweet.
So we now decided for in October, when we do in the War Machine World Team Championship, we are going to add MCP World Team Championship, which is
Great.
going to be teams of 5 players. There's a couple of changes to the current rules we are looking into changing. We're discussing whether or not to restrict crisis like we've done so far with the Highlander format, where only one of each. Because right now the way people playing it, with the one it has been played, is all crisis has to be taken once, and once you've taken all crisis once, then the team can take one of each again.
Right.
So we're talking about maybe we're going to change that a little, because the crisis shouldn't dictate what team you're playing. That should only be your team and your tactics cards. And those are all going to be unique. So you get one character of each, one tactic card of each. Well, we're thinking of maybe opening up the crisis and leaving the crisis more open, because they shouldn't dictate what you're playing.
Yeah, fair enough. So I mean, that's big news. That's awesome for the community, right? This is a big, because we'll talk more about the event itself and maybe share some of our experiences and stuff, and just maybe let people know just what an amazing experience it is going to a WTC. But just to rewind a bit, so what are the dates again? Just shout us out the dates. So it's in Copenhagen.
Yes,
Tell us a bit about the venue and the dates.
Yeah, and the date is the weekend of the 21st to 23rd of October. I think that's falling on. I think I counted in the date from Thursday, because a lot of people arrive early, but it's the weekend that falls the 21st to the 23rd of October.
Fab. And what's the venue like? Where is it in Copenhagen?
Well, that's the best part of it. You fly to Copenhagen Airport, and you cross the street, and you're at the hotel. There's 2 airport hotels. One's the Clarion, and right next to it it's a Comfort Inn, which is their conference hotel. And that's the one we got. We got they got a massive hall in the basement, and then we got all the rooms. So basically, once you're at the hotel, you sign into a room, which is 2-person or 4-person rooms. They got a couple of different ones. You sign into your room, and then you come downstairs to play, and they'll have food on site. Everything is included. We have a bar and everything. And if you want to stay longer, or you want to go to the city, there's a metro that goes straight into center town. 2 minutes from the hotel.
So just again, I get people that have been to War Machine WTCs and the like will be aware of this, but you stay on site. So you stay at the hotel.
Everything's on site. Yeah. The whole thing with it obviously is it's got to be a combined ticket. You get in your ticket, you get a hotel with a stay from Friday till Sunday, and the ability to buy an overnight until Monday, because if your flight or whatever it doesn't work out, so it's better for you to fly out Monday.
Great.
But in the normal ticket price, you get a hotel from Friday to Saturday, Saturday to Sunday, meals all of Saturday, all of Sunday, and a ticket for the event, for the whole gaming and everything. Everything is included. So basically what you need to do is put your clothes on, pack some clothes, Pack your models. Bring your local booze because people like to.
Yeah, always bring your boost for WTC.
Yes, that's the
Always,
thing. A lot of people
always
bring
bring your
their local
nation's
stuff.
boost.
You know, Hungarians bring some really nasty,
Yeah.
weird cherry stuff. We got the clean stuff, which is weird. Germans are bringing stuff. Everybody's bringing. Well, not everybody. A lot of people bring, and
Yeah.
there's a bigger community thing. People. Some is drinking on Friday. Some are drinking on Saturday.
Yeah.
Someone is drinking both days. The ones who staying on Sunday is absolutely getting smashed.
It's a strong play.
Yeah, and you see the very competitive teams who's like undefeated on a Saturday, don't touch a drop because they're making plans because they're playing on team and they want to win it. And everybody who's in the middle and down, like fuck it, let's get this.
They just get there. They go for it. They let their hair down.
Yeah, let's
awesome.
have fun.
This is so good. This is such good news. So, how many teams are you looking to have at the WTC MCP WTC Copenhagen?
There's not really an upper number because right now they have 5 or 6 sections of the hall in the basement. I booked 2 sections right now, which I know can accommodate 300 to 400 players. WTC is capped at 64 teams of 50 players, so 320 players. So if that gets filled out, we are filling out the main hall, maybe an extra section. So technically, I can open up as many sections as I want to, add them on.
Okay.
So, I mean, I'm hoping. I mean, if we get 30 teams or anything like that for MCP, I'm ecstatic.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah, and if we get more MCP teams than War Machine Hordes, that's going to be fun. It's going to be a little bit of competition.
It'd be interesting.
Who signs up the most? I mean, especially if it's close race, you know, with 30-some teams of each, it's going to be okay. Who's going to sign up the extra team?
Yeah, well, it's a great opportunity for people to get over there and try it out, see what that WTC experience is like. And we both know there's a lot of War Machine players playing MCP at the moment, but there's just loads of people. There's loads of people that I met at the York Weekender that we've both just been to this past weekend. Tons of people there that just into gaming, played all sorts of games, Lord of the Rings, 40k, just Marvel, not much else. So there's a whole community out there that haven't experienced this sort of thing. So just again, for people that aren't aware, so basically a country can submit a team.
Yes.
And that team would be 5 players.
Yes.
And go on, I'll let you break it down.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna introduce the mercenary rules as we have in War Machine as well. If you're a country and you only have 4 players, because that's who you can get, you can always ask for a mercenary, which could be a player from another country that you either know yourself and ask if he can join you, or you can ask us if we have a mercenary player and we find somebody who's in a country that has too many players who wants to go and he can play for another country as a mercenary. Yeah. Of course, we're going to approve it so we don't have, one guy in one country say, oh, I don't have, and then he finds 4 the best players in the world and make a super team. So we don't allow that. We don't have it in War Machine, and so we don't have the super teams, and we're not going to have it in this. Primarily, you're going to be a country. If we need to sub up, we do that. I might introduce a solo tournament as we have in War Machine Hordes for alternate players, because let's say you have a team, 5 players, they bring a reserve player. The reserve player has to have something to do over the weekend, so he go and play in a solo tournament. So there might be a 24-man solo tournament, but then on a Sunday, one of your player gets sick, so you drop out the solo tournament, you join your team, and you play for the team. Right. And if not, nobody gets sick on the team, you play the whole event, or maybe you sign up for the solo team, and then 2 weeks before the tournament, one of the guys on your team gets sick and can't make it, and then you just drop out the solo and go play for your team. A lot of countries used to do that in War Machine Hordes. They always sign up the 5-man team, and then they sign up at least one alternate player for each team, and those guys come along and play in a solo event. And then if they need to, they can sub in, which has happened a few times.
Yeah, rather than people just stood around, because I think those. Me and you were just chatting before we started doing this call. We've been to all the WTCs other than one, although I can't remember which one I've missed, and it didn't really matter. But the early War Machine WTCs, there wasn't any of that, was it? It was only later on that they'd start doing like solo events alongside it, which was received really well. So that's a nice extra bit. Yeah,
no, the first one didn't have I think the first one didn't have a solo event because it was just everything was done in less than very quickly put together in the middle of nowhere in Belgium. good fun.
Yeah, literally middle of nowhere.
Yeah, finding drunken Norwegians on the
Yeah, with like no shoes and stuff.
Yes, exactly, and the shoes are apparently still there. Um, so that's good fun.
Life, what a
Then
lad.
we had a solo tournament. I know one year the solo masters was actually up to 64 players with
Yeah,
320 players in the team event. So that was massive.
yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, that was good fun.
Yeah,
So that's and we had Belgium did a couple of years where they also did like a +1 program.
mm.
So everybody's bringing girls or girlfriend or wives, and then they had somebody who did like a tourist tour around areas in Belgium, which is possible something I can look into in
That's
Denmark.
a cool touch. I like that. That's good.
Yeah, because it's easy there.
That's
You get the metro, you go to the center of town, and they can walk around and see stuff.
yeah,
I mean,
that's a good shout.
yeah,
Maybe
Copenhagen's
people
nice.
should let you know if they could bring partners. Do you know what I mean? Like let you know if
Yeah,
there's a demand, and you could put something on if people are watching, thinking I'd come and bring a partner. So
absolutely.
each basically nation can bring a team, submit a team. Are you just doing? Because I know again in previous War Machine WTCs, you sometimes get multiple teams from a country. Is that something you'd consider if there were a couple of teams? Like, because I know the UK's got a pretty thriving
Oh yeah.
MCP tournament scene.
We're not gonna leave him to one team. How it used to be WTC when there was like lots of War Machine players and people wanting to come. It would be we open up registration for one team for each country. After everybody sign out, there's still spaces. We open up for a second round. Once they've all signed up, then the country we had a point system. Then the countries who had points to get a third team would,
Yeah,
in order, be allowed to sign up for the remaining spots. And there might be like 14 teams who had a third spot, but there'll be 10 left, and then they'd be in order of points. So they go down the list. Okay, number one, do you want one? Yes. Number 2, 3, 4, until there was no spots left. But this year we don't really need to because, I of course I do have a limit on how much terrain and stuff I can put out. So we are limited to 64 teams in War Machine Hordes. I'm hoping we're gonna get at least 50 like we did last year in Belgium. And basically, I just need to know in advance how many teams we have for MCP. I know the Irish guys were talking about driving over and bringing tables, and I can probably have that from some of the other countries. I know some of the Swedes can bring stuff over, but the rest I'm going to print up. I might as well plug this now. I might do something like talk to what's the Polish guy called? No, I can't remember what they call. They're doing the guys who's doing the mat. Yeah, I bought like several mats from him. Yeah, the Polish guy who's doing the really nice neoprene mats. They also do for X-Wing and so I might talk to them about making some special mats, MCP mats that has WTC MCP 2023, and maybe let people buy them afterwards and even buy some of the terrain. Yeah,
that sounds cool.
That way. Yeah.
What sort of deadlines are countries on then to get a team to you? What are we looking at? When do people need to give you a heads up? And where can they find more information about contacting you and submitting the team?
Well, we have the War Machine Hordes website. We put everything up and Facebook groups. I'm thinking I'm going to put out in the Facebook groups within a week. Preferably within this week, but if not by next week, we're going to put up like a pre-registration to get an idea of numbers, because I need to know how many numbers we have in total for War Machine and MCP, because the total numbers, if that's enough, we can make the budget and we're definitely going to make this happen. So I want to have those pre-registration in within roughly by next weekend so we can know. And then we're just going to find out, I'm just going to talk to the rest and work out when is the date we have to have like a firm registration with a deposit. That's going to be made. But people should be expecting, let me see, I have to pay the first deposit in June, so 2 months before that would be preferably sometime in April would be the best to have actually registration and what do you call it, deposit in.
Yeah, so 2 months, but you need people to let you know ASAP really if they intend to bring a team, start getting the ball rolling. And how much what's the cost? How much are we looking at for a ticket?
Right now, the budget I worked out, I'm just gonna double check it, but it's gonna be for the total, the ticket, the hotel and the fooding, everything. It's 310 to 320 euros per player. I'm just gonna confirm if I have to go 320 or if I can stay at 310.
Yeah,
I
so
know
be
I can,
around that mark basically.
yeah, around that mark, and that includes your sleep, your hotel stay from Friday to Saturday, Saturday to Sunday, all the food on Saturday, 2 meals on Sunday, and then the whole tournament ticket. And the extra price to stay from Sunday to Monday is only going to be 50 or 60 euros. When
Okay,
we
cool.
passed it, that's actually been 80 euros, but it's going to be 50 or 60 euros.
Great. And as we talked about before, like it's such a good experience going to a WTC, not only from a individual experience of meeting other players, of like stepping outside your nationality's meta and playing people that play very differently and bring different takes to the game. But as we've experienced, it also builds like just these friendships that last for years. Especially if you really get into the competitive scene and go regularly and go get involved. Like you just meet people from all over the world that are passionate about the game. Like it's such an amazing experience as a player, isn't it? It makes you a better player. Like
Oh yeah,
you
absolutely.
all the metas start getting so much better when everybody
Yeah,
starts playing each other. And then there's like tabletop simulator and there's discords and everything that people chat on, but nothing beats actually just hanging out with people that play the game
exactly.
in other countries.
I mean, to be
Such a
honest,
cool experience.
one of the best thing I saw from the WTC War Machine, the first one, was that the year after, all the national tournaments in different countries, because people get to know each other.
Yeah.
So they would start advertising them in other countries, and all of a sudden, oh, Germany has the 64-man tournament where they're hoping to make a full number. But all of a sudden, they might have to make it bigger or cut the numbers because now they had friends from England, Poland, Denmark, Norway, Sweden, um, other countries in Europe, and we would be coming 4, 6, 8 people from this country. All of a sudden, the 64-man tournament was an 86-man tournament, sold out
Yeah.
in 5 days. Because people's like, oh, I know Lutzi, he's nice. Oh, I know Norbert, he's cool. Oh, I know Hornacek in wherever.
Hornacek,
Yeah,
that's a blast from the past. Oh my
exactly,
god.
and so these guys are putting up because you get to know him, and then everybody connects on Facebook,
Yeah.
and then so instead of only seeing once a year at the WTC, then you're gonna meet him up at the national tournaments. All of a sudden, your local tournament, which used to be 16, 24-man, is now 30. A 32-man tournament, or you're making it a 60-man con over 3 days because you're getting the numbers, and people saying, yeah, if you make it 3 days and we get 12 games in, we're coming down. And then you say, okay, so we'll do it Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We get a bigger venue, and you do that, and
Yeah.
then
Just
people go
escalates.
all over the place. Yeah, and all of a sudden,
Yeah.
Europeans are going together to the US to go to Adepticon, Ontario, and in Canada and stuff. I mean, the year COVID hit, I was signed up for, I think it was 7 or 9 international tournaments. Tickets bought
What?
from,
That's wild.
yeah, it was all. I mean, I had to go
That's crazy.
two in the US, Canada, 2 in Germany, Wales, at least 1 in England, 1 in Norway, and 1 or 2 in Sweden. Yeah, so like 9 tournaments, and then two in Denmark. And I had tickets
There's
for
more
half.
abroad than in Denmark. I love that.
Yeah, yeah.
Just
Then
like
2
get
local.
out
I
there.
mean, the Danish Masters and 1 more in Denmark. So I was set for the year, and then that hit, and was like, ah. Oh yeah, and then WTC of course as well. So that was the first year I was supposed to play and organize, and then all of a sudden that hit, and we're like, okay, well, calling these people up, I just keep my money, move my ticket for for whenever you're going up again, and with all these people, and just kept the ticket and whatever, left my deposit, and then just carry it over for whenever you're doing it again.
Sorry, coffee.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
that
that's
was yeah.
there are so many
So,
reasons as to why it's a good thing for community based and individually as a player, and just for the game itself. I mean, it just helps
oh
grow
yeah.
and spread the game. It puts it on the map, shows how well
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
doing.
there's nothing better coming to a tournament. You see people that maybe you see them once, twice, or 4 times a year because you go into a couple of international tournaments. Imagine you go into Germany to play a tournament, and all of a sudden you're meeting somebody from Sweden and Denmark and Norway.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's like, oh, I get to meet you here, and then all your German friends, and then a couple other, and you might meet somebody from the south of England
Yeah,
that you don't see often, and you didn't meet him in Germany, and then 2 Americans decide to come over or whatever, and that's awesome. And then, I mean,
yeah,
every time I come home from a tournament, I have people you might know on Facebook, and then you get 3 or 4 friend requests, and then one of them you accept one, and you have a friend request somebody else, and all of a sudden you get a couple of more. So after every tournament, you end up with anywhere from 4 to 10 new friends that
Yeah, it's
people
great.
you met because I met him at 4 tournaments now. Okay, let's hook him up with 50. And then before you do that, he sends you one, and then you send 2 others out.
It
And
just spirals.
it does, and it's cool, and you keep up with these. And sometimes, I mean, of course,
And it's just fun. Like just being there is great. Like the
oh,
atmosphere at WTCs is just such a good laugh. Like it's kind of like fun and a bit lively, but also really respectful and chill. Like if people want a more chilled experience, that's there too at WTC. I think that's an important point. Like there's loads of drinking and laughs and fun, but you can also just go there and keep yourself to yourself, explore a city a little bit. Like it's just
you can do it all. I mean, whenever you go to a tournament, not everybody can win the tournament. And if let's say it's a 64-man tournament, somebody's going to lose, somebody's going to win. I know people who's going to those tournaments knowing they're going to be in the bottom 10, expect to be so. But it's fun because they get 5 or 6 games in against people most likely they never played before. They see new lists, they see cool models. They get, oh, that's a cool conversion. Oh, that's nice. And they meet some people. Oh, they're really cool. So, oh, try a drink they never tried before. Try a drink they never want to try again.
Yeah, that you'll never try again.
Yeah, sorry, I'm definitely to blame for some of those.
Yeah.
So I promise to be nice from now on.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, like the story.
Yeah, but thing like that is it's just a whole. You get community building and you get to play really nice. I've had people who's afraid to go to tournaments. I did it with Danish Masters and War Machine Horse. I got 4 guys said, "Come on, just come and play. It's good fun." And the first thing they said after the tournament was, "Well, that's not dangerous. That was really fun." I says, "I told you. You coming next year?"
I said you all
Absolutely.
along.
Yeah. When are you making? So all of a sudden they come to small local tournaments and they're having fun. I mean, I know people who's gone to the same tournament in different game systems for 5, 8, 10 years, and they've never done better than 15 from the bottom. But they go every year, knowing they're not going to do much better, hoping maybe they beat the other friend who's shit as well. But they're having fun. They're enjoying
That's what
themselves.
it's all about.
Yeah, and
That
then you
sounds
got
great.
the same 20 people fighting about first place or whatever. Yeah,
Just have your fun.
it
So
is.
I'll put in the descriptions of the video, I'll put the links to the existing WTC website so people can see the location details and all that sort of thing. But I think later this week, well, I'll probably put this out tonight or tomorrow morning, but basically the next few days, next week or so, you're going to be releasing more additional details. You're going to be putting all this stuff out online.
Yes.
More information out and doing an announcement. But we wanted to, when we spoke at York, we wanted to just get this information out as quickly as possible, really, didn't we? Just to put it on people's radars and give nations time to start
create
planning.
some hype. So when the pre-registration comes out, I get people say, "Oh yeah, I heard about that. Let's look into it." And then they already have a. So we got the hype going, and then hopefully, this is like spreads like rings in the water. You put this out, I talk to some people, and then everybody. And now when somebody goes asking, they can go, "Oh yeah, I saw this video official about it, and you have to go and look at this link, and it's coming up."
Yeah, great. I'm excited for it. I don't think I've I've not actually really started playing MCP. I've only had like a couple of games, but I'm sure I can tag along and stream something or film something or be about. It's been pretty cool to be hanging out at WTC again.
Absolutely.
And yeah, excited to get out to the community. This is going on. I think it's a really good sign that the game's healthy, and it's a really great opportunity for the community to get on board and kind of catapult MCP, competitive MCP, into the ether. I think it's pretty cool. Pretty cool announcement.
Yeah.
And and as we can both testify, it's a great experience. It's a really fun, cool thing to do. So go for it, get involved.
Absolutely.
And,
I enjoy it every time. I'm
Thanks,
only happy about the one I missed. Other than that,
I'm trying to think which I missed one. I think it was an island. I think it was one of the islands. No, it was a return to Belgium it was the Centre Parks one in
the water parks
Netherlands.
one in Belgium. That's the one I missed.
There was the one in Netherlands. Was it in Belgium or was the one in Netherlands? Either way.
Yeah, it's the one where they had a water park in Belgium.
Yeah.
That's the one I missed.
Yeah, same. There we go. We've matched up on our misses as well.
Yeah.
Thanks for jumping on to chat to us about it, Gill. Really appreciate it, and appreciate all the hard work you put in, the hard work you put into War Machine, and the hard work you're putting into MCP. If it weren't for people like you doing this sort of thing and driving it forward, it would just stay in little local gaming clubs up and down the country. So, good job, fair play to you.
To be honest, thank you. And one of the biggest thing I've done is I've actually got a couple of other people trained up to help me organize it, so I don't have to do all of it myself.
There we
Actually,
go.
actually volunteered to step up because at one point I was doing the events for our club all the time. And they're like, how about we take over for a year because you never get to play and you're doing this all the time. And I was actually living in Sweden and driving to Denmark just to do the event. Yeah, so they're like, how about we do it for a year so you can start playing before you burn out? And I says, cool. How about I make you press gang? I see you might as well get something out of it at the same time. And then they joined the Danish Masters team as well and has been running events with me ever since.
Nice, there you go. Passing it
Yeah.
on, passing the enthusiasm and the knowledge on. That's what it's all
Yeah,
about.
yeah. It's always good to get a couple of more organizers, trained up.
Yeah, good on you.
Yeah.
Ace, all right, mate. Well, thanks for jumping on the show. I'm sure you'll jump on again soon. I'll be up for more chats and maybe giving us an update about how it goes in the next few months as people get signing up and you can jump back on and let people know that.
We'll do another one.
Good stuff. Nice one, mate. We'll speak to you again soon.
Yeah, take care.
So there you go. MCP's going to the WTC. It just rolls off the tongue and very satisfying to say. So get sharing that information across your communities. Mobilize yourselves. Get organised. Sound like I'm Extinction Rebellion then. That's a bit weird. Bring all your ideas together and save the planet by playing MCP at the WTC in Copenhagen. Great opportunity. Be loads and loads of fun. It did absolute wonders for the War Machine community at the WTC event, so I'm sure it'll do the same for MCP. Sounds like a lot of fun. Get the message out there. Thanks for watching the show. We're going to have Gill coming on in the next sort of few months just to keep us updated about what's going on with the WTC, talk about some of the numbers and the teams that have signed up. He'll be on the show again, so make sure you like and subscribe for more. Thanks so much for watching and hope you are all keeping well. Take care.